All right, beautiful Monday to you. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Rave 91.7 FM, where to find every bit of your moment, bringing you amazing music and spicing it up with quality talk is what we do for a living right here on this dial. Welcome on board Frank Talk. Frank Talk is where we look at trending issues in the polity, bringing these issues closer to you and helping it have a better understanding, having a deeper insight into the issues right here. Issues of policies of government and also the politics behind some of those policies as it affects us individually and collectively as a nation. Well, on the program today, my guests are representatives of the Forum of Contributing Pensioners in the state of Osun, and they here to talk about some of the challenges they say they are facing as regards the payment of their retirement benefits to retirees under the Contributing Pension Scheme in the state of Osun, and to the side of government to hear what they have to say about that particular this issue of the payment of retirement benefits of contributory pensioners in the state of Osun. I'm joined in the studio this morning by Comrade Adedejaja Ismaila. Is a representative of the Forum of Contributory Pensioners in the state of Osun, representing the civil workers, those who retired from the civil service on this particular contributory pension scheme. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. And also Comrade Benga Adeosun is also a member of that Forum of Contributory Pensioners in the state, representing the teaching service. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, let me start with Comrade Benga Adeosun. Tell me, what really is your problem with this contributory pension system? You have retired from the service of the state government. What is your grouse? What is your problem at this moment?
Well, before I'll go to the problem that we are facing, I would like to go into memory lane. The contributory pension scheme started in May 1st, 2010, and as a contributor, the money will be deducted direct from the source from your salary, and the government is supposed to pay their and this money should be remitted to the PFAs. And now we are facing some challenges, and these are our problems. One, the government, failure of the government to pay the money deduct different PFAs as and when due. So this is one of the problems. And the other one is the failure of the PFA not to pay the retirees their pension entitlement and as when due. And those two problems now is affecting the retirees in the state, because retirees will not be to access their money as early as possible. So making it difficult for us to do whatever we are to do as a family or as a parent at home. And even the man is no more man in the sector. So all these are the problems and challenges that we are facing, and we want the government to do something about it.
All right. Well, he's from the teaching service. Is the case any different from your own side in the service?
It seems as if it is the same, but in addition to what he has said, the government itself failed to pay the money. And they deducted that money from our salary. And as at the time they're supposed to remit it, they failed to do so. For instance, now, you will have seen that the money deducted in October to December 2014 was not remitted until July 2017. That is almost 31 months to the period that government has deducted that money. And at the same time, you will have seen that the January 2015 till date has not even been remitted to the PFA. This concerns the retired officer as well as the serving officers. So we don't even know what will be the future of the people those that are in the service, talk less of those that have retired.
Well, a difference, so that we get a better perspective of this particular issue. The difference between this contributory pension scheme and the old pensions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Femi. When we are talking about the old pension scheme, they are under pay and go. When you join the service, by the time you retire, you continue to get your money until the last day. But this issue of a contributory pension is you just get your money. If government remitted for contribution, if they remit it to the PFA, at the end of the day, when you are going, it is said that immediately you process your paper and then you finish it. You must get everything and then you go. So you don't have any business with government. There is difference between old pension and new pension. And this one, you will have seen that the Osun State Contributory Pension Law 2008 stipulated that anytime you finish the processing of your paper, you must get your retirement benefit as and when due. Then you go. You don't have any business with the government again. You are free. It's not your own deduction, is no more forced charge from the consolidated revenue fund. So they don't give you anything. Your own monthly benefit is you are just with your PFA. And that's all.
Oh, you reached out to your PFAs to make this complaint if the problem is actually from their own end.
No, the problem is not. Most of the problems are not from the PFAs. We've been to their office, and what they said was that whatever the government asks them to pay, that's what they are going to pay. That is it. They are the mercy of the government. So all this problem accumulated from the end of the stakeholder, that is the chief stakeholder, the government. So what my partner was saying the other time was that, failure to remit that particular money to the PFA, we are going to suffer for it, because the PFA is supposed to be traded with our money so that we trust. And if the money is not paid to the PFA accordingly, then it means we are not going to have our interest. And we were bound to have our interest. What he was saying the other time was that for 2 years, 7 months, the money has not been remitted to our different.
Which of the monies are you talking about now? Is it the one government or the one deducted from your salary?
No, the one deducted from our salary and that of the counterpart fund of the government, supposed to go together to the PFA. And the moment the PFA collected that particular money, then they use it to trade and gain and have some gain on it. So that particular gain or interest supposed to be on individuals' accounts.
And since when has this started?
Since 2010. You mean when the problem, the problem of non-remittance? You mean the problem of non-remittance?
Yes.
It started in September 2014. It started in September 2014 because by our calculation with what we got from the PFA, we discovered that the last payment was made in September. But from October to December 2014, nothing was remitted. It was until July 2017 that government remitted October, November, December 2014.
Have you reached out to the state government to you said you've been to the PFAs and they said, well, they have no issue with it. Have you reached out to the state government?
Thank you. On this issue, we've written 25 letters on this issue. 25 letters. Let me itemize it. We wrote 4 to the executive governor. That one contained that the first one we appeal to him, we beg him, we do everything. Another thing is that the second one, we demand for our money. That's the second one. Then the third one is reminder. The fourth one contained the interest that the money could have accrued. I didn't mean it has been paid as and when due. So that is for that. And as in that wise, the same letter goes to the head of service. That 4 letters goes to the head of service. We discovered that at the ESCO meeting, they have spokesman, that is Commissioner for Information. Then we wrote a letter to him that, okay, if there is exigency of government, if there is exigency of work for Mr. Governor, and that of head of service, at least at the end be able to present it to your to Oga, so that we will know the sovereign of these people, the untold hardship. That apart now, we discuss at least we have 3 arms of government. We went to the House of Assembly, we dropped 2 letters for them, one containing intervention. We don't say this word, just intervene in this problem and solve our problem for us once and for all. Nothing from the House of Assembly. We still wrote another one, reminder. We believe that in as much as we have 3 arms of government, another letter was written to judiciary, that okay, judiciary, by the time you will have having meeting with Mr. Governor, just discuss this thing with him. Nothing come out of it. Then another reminder was written. Then we feel that okay, the party controlling the state, that is APC, we wrote a letter to the chairman. Up to the present moment, nothing came out of it. And at the same time, when we feel that what can we do again, we call on the law enforcement agency. We write as Inspector General of Police, AIG. We wrote police, we wrote Director of State Security Services. And in his magnanimity, the Commissioner of Police invited us. Can you imagine, within 1 week, he invited us to his office, and we made our complaint. He appealed to us. We left. The same thing, we wrote a letter to several media stations. OSBC called us, but it was inconclusive. The same thing, the result of the response to our letter is what we are having now.
So you said you've written 24 letters, and most of the letters to government, to the people in government. Yeah. When you say nothing came out of it, are you saying you've not seen any concrete results? You've not seen any move, Mr. Femi, solving your, or you're saying you did not get any response at all?
Mr. Femi, you know, in Savicom, when you write letter, we expect them within 24 hours to force back that okay, we've acknowledged your letters. And then the same thing is that come for interview. What we are doing is an intellectual discussion. What we are doing is intellectual discussion. You know, the caliber of people, the caliber of tires, they are professionals. They are bureaucrats, they are technocrats.
You are saying none of those letters were responded to?
At all. Not
the ones written to the government?
9 to the executive. No response. 3, 2 to the legislature, 2 to the judiciary. Nothing. Even to the ruling party itself. Nothing from the chairman of APC. And if they respond to that letter, let them give us concrete one. We have our own letter here now, which we can show to them. And it was received in their office.
Have you factored in, Comrade Gbenga Adeosun,
yes, sir,
the situation that the country has found itself economically? Osun State is not left out of this particular challenge. Even civil servants also have challenges with their monthly pays. Have you factored in maybe your funds for the state government? This could be responsible for what is happening at the moment. And if you said the other time, at one point, part of your pensions were paid. Could it be that when things get better, these things also will be addressed out here?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Femi. We are all human beings. And the issue of economic situation of the state or of the country is at stake. Now, the state government, by the time we started this particular program, you know, there are a set of people. By the time they enter into the service, maybe, for example, somebody who enter into the service by the contributory pension scheme started by May 2010. And by that time, that person might have spent about 29 or almost 30 years in service, which remains just 5 years to go. 30 or 29 years, that one will be bonded by the government. That is, they have the accrual valuation for that particular one. So the one that you contributed for that particular 5 years supposed to be between you and the so the issue of economic situation doesn't come in at all, because this money is being deducted directly from your salary, and the state government is supposed to have their own counterpart fund. It's not negotiable at all.
So, you know, I mean, 2 cases here, Comrade Adeosun.
Yes.
there is a part of the money that belongs to the old scheme, before the pension scheme started in 2010.
Yes.
And then there is the new one, that is the contributory pension scheme.
Yes.
Has especially the old one been paid at all? I mean, how have you, how was it explained to you that it's going to be paid? If you said you've spent 30 years under the old scheme,
yes,
then the last 5 years of your service under the new scheme,
yes,
how do you blend it together?
Thank you very much. That is the reason why I said that by the time we were about to start that particular program, there was a accurate valuation. That one will be right from day one. You enter into the service, you stop that system. Then they are going to calculate it. After being calculated now, that money is supposed to be with the government. You understand? It's supposed to be with the government. And as I learned that money should be paid to the central bank. So, which means nobody will have access to that particular money until the time you are able to exit from the service. And that one will be added to whatever you contributed by the time you are in service for that particular period of 5 years. So, the two will be paid together by the time you are nailing.
Mr. Femi, Mr. Femi, you've gone far. You've gone far. The reason why I've said you've gone far is this. Let's leave that of accrued value for 2000 which stopped by 2010. Now let's talk of the present now. The present, you are talking about economic recession, and we can see economic recession start Osun State. Well, by the time government came out and said that okay, you'll be getting half salary from July 2015. Now, January 2015 to June 2015, we got full payment. And the money is supposed to be remitted into the covers of the PFA. Did government do that? Did not remit it. That is why I calculated it. Now, if you see by my calculation, now if you look at the time lag of the period that the PFA has not collected anything from government, it's not 34 months.
34 months?
Yes.
Not collecting anything from government?
Yes.
What about your own counterpart fund? Deducted from...
Deducted from our own salary. Let's say even if we have economic recession, they deducted because of the economic recession, government may not deduct its own. But why can't they have, okay, for January, February, that one because we are paying 7.5. Had January and February. Had January and February for January and February, 7%, which I paid in January, 7%, which I paid in February. Had it together, you will have paid a month. So if government failed to pay for 12 years now, my 6 months, we are receipt. So
both for your own that is deducted and the one that government is supposed to, counter fund, none of it has been remitted to the PFA.
At all. That is what we are saying. That is what we are appealing to them to. That is what we want them to call us and tell us, okay, this is where you are heading to. This is where you are heading to. Like they used to say, conscience is an open wound. Only truth can heal it. Conscience is this is frank talk. We must say it. We are against anybody. And we are not here to destroy anybody, because it has been said that he who destroy another person in order to rise will meet destruction at the peak of his success. Why do you need to do about other people? But what we are after is that the suffering is too much for the past 2 years now, that people have been at home. We don't have any other thing. That is why we work for 35 years. Is it a sin for us to be Nigeria? They should know that. If we are not Nigeria, if we are not from Osun State, we are human beings.
Okay, how many of you are affected, by this present predicament?
Okay, as at now, I don't have full statistics, but I can say categorically that we are around 800. 800. 800. Yes, 800. That they have processed they finished the processing of their file, and what remains is to give them the bonds. and settle them. But the reverse is the case.
Let me take you back again. When did you, I mean, this group of yours, the 800, when did you retire?
You know, it varies.
It varies.
We did not enter service in the same year.
Yeah.
Like my friend here now, he retired in 2015.
What about you, sir?
Like my whole now, I retired in 2016.
Okay.
It varies. But you know, retirement continues because government is continuing.
Okay, you know what I'm asking?
Yeah.
I'm asking because people had before now, before yourselves,
yes,
many of them have also not been able to collect their pension and entitlements.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I mean, why? Some people back home will be saying it seems you are in a hurry. I mean, why not before you sorted, before you begin to make your own complaints now? What's the difference? Adib been,
you know, you are talking about the contributory pensioner.
Are you the first set of the contributory pensioners?
No. We are not the first set of a contributory.
The first set have they been paid their own entitlements?
Government have been paid. Government have been paid before, but sequel to non-remittance of a monthly deduction, non-remittance of a monthly deduction has even led to non-payment of a retirement benefit to those people. And they have been paid. Okay, we have 800 now. If they pay 200, this month, next month they pay 200, next month they pay 200. Everybody will be hopeful that something tangible is coming after what they are doing. But for now, everything stands still. Everything stands still. For how long are we going to wait? If I finish my pension paper, that is why we don't join all this scheme. That is why we don't join all scheme. Now it's give and take. What I contribute is what I will receive. But now we are still saying that when what is desirable is not available, what is available must be desirable. But now nothing desirable, nothing available.
What's the NUP, the umbrella body of pensioners, saying about this? Are you carrying them along?
No, our own. We don't belong to Nigerian Union of Pensioners.
Why? The
thing is this: their own is old scheme. Their own is old scheme. Our own is new scheme. Our own is contributory. If you contribute, whatever you contribute is what you are going to get. So supposing now, if you started as a level 4 officer, and then you retired on level 12, you can't say what you will get will be the same thing with the person who started on a level 8. So we don't belong to that group. Our own group is as stated by the law, the other law establishing their own.
All right. Well, I'd like you to hold it a moment now, because we're joined live on the line now by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy here in Osun State, Mr. Olanipekun. Thank you so much for joining us on Frank Talk this morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Well, you know, these group of pensioners, they are the Forum of Contributory Pensioners in the state of Osun, said that they've written several letters. In fact, count about 24 letters have been written on this particular issue, but that government has not deemed it fit to respond to any one of them. And they're saying, well, their issue should not be this complicated at all. Let's start from the issue of non-response to the letters written to the state government.
That cannot be true. I am aware that a copy of the letter sent to the governor was sent to me. I acknowledge receipt, and indeed, I've gotten in touch with one of the leaders of the group, and indeed, we are trying to fix a date and discuss over it. Indeed, I have done the necessary things that I'm supposed to do in taking, permission from the necessary quarters, and that has been the case. We are actually going to meet hopefully very shortly. It is not as if to what they are saying. As a matter of fact, I know of a fact that the governor, if he has his way, he will want to pay so promptly and without any delay. I want to urge them to please hang on a bit and believe that the government is in person that has always been taking care of the welfare of the workers and pensioners all along. And this case is not going to be different. And the fact that they are going to be taken care of, especially if there is ease of financial problem that we have.
Excuse sir, we can understand what you are saying, but the letter written to you, you will if you go by the date, We started this thing on the 28th August. 28th August up till the present moment we are talking. This time you are responding to us now. Even if you called him, I know the coordinator told me that you called him on Friday when we were here. We thought he told me that you are making arrangement for us, but you can consider the time lag. It's now 69 days. 69 days.
I must say that part and parcel of what I'm supposed to do is to get, the necessary things done before getting in touch with you, which has taken some time. And then I told the coordinator of the fact that I've tried this number. Somebody else gave me his number, and I have tried this number a couple of times, and I didn't get through. Sir, I want to plead with you. This matter is a serious matter, taken seriously by government, and it is nothing to be angry about, but that we should sit down to the government and people, stakeholders, all of us that we have in the state, and be rest assured that things are sorted out as amicably as possible.
All right. Well, let me ask you about the issue of the remittances, because they claim that for remitted any of the monies, both the counterpart from the side of government and the ones deducted monthly from their own salary, saying, well, this has caused them untold hardship, that this is primarily what has led to them not collecting their pension, and then now even the interest that should accrue to these particular savings. Why is some government, or why did government not remit those particular deductions in the first place?
Femi, to be candid with you, I do not have details of all of those things on my finger presently, and I want to say with all sense of responsibility that if at all, if like that, definitely the governor is such a compassionate human being that will do all the needful as at when the situation is, due. Definitely, I want to please be patient with the government. It has not always been like this. The governor has always been a man living up to his responsibilities, even those that were not asked for. He has done so many things without being promised, especially when it concerns the workers' welfare and that of the people in general.
So what are they now? Because they are saying that going by the terms of the contributor pension scheme, that they should have no problem whatsoever getting their pay, that it should be as their living service and their papers are duly completed, that they should be paid their monies. But saying because of the lack of remittances that these have put them, in this particular situation, what assurance are you giving to them, aside the meeting that you will hold with them, that maybe they will meet the governor and this will get sorted?
Well, the assurances is that Governor Rave has always been a man of his word. He has always been living up to his responsibilities, and he has always been doing things that will make people happy and comfortable at all times. I can assure definitely this will not be different, and that as soon as things eases up, he will definitely have to.
Excuse me, sir, Mr. Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Commissioner. Now,
yes,
what we are doing now is an intellectual discussion. We are discussing with you intellectually, and the caliber of the people that retire from Fosun. In all fields, we have them. In all fields, and it's one thing to contribute to the development of one state, even than building houses in the state. We've done a lot that we've done. And you should know that before the creation of the state, before we started from Oyo State, metamorphosed into Osun State, and we've done a lot in no small measure to make the flag fly. Now we are discussing it. Please let us know. This is Frank talk. This is Frank talk. Tell us what you have in store for us, so that we know if we should not depend on that money. Then we find our level. And if it is our right, then we
all right, okay. Let's hear the Honorable Commissioner.
Please let me say in categorical terms that government, especially Arigweshola government, appreciate your contributions to the development of the state of Osun. Indeed, he is so appreciative that there's nothing, he's not ready to make you happy and comfortable. And indeed, he has always been doing that. I repeat, he has always been doing that. And this cannot be different he's going to do it, and you will be happy and comfortable. Definitely. The truth of the matter is that things are not the way they used to be, and he has been trying so much to ensure that everybody is happy and comfortable as they used to when they. Indeed, the rest assured, sir, that you are going to be happy and comfortable.
Okay, Mr. Commissioner, sir.
Well,
hello, sir.
Just before you come in, Comrade Osho, Honorable Commissioner, tell us how soon will this be? Because this seems to be very, very strong on their minds. How soon will this be?
I may not be able to specifically say that because it is not, but I am sure that government is working very hard to ensure that there is an increment in the revenue accruable to the cost of government. Definitely, as soon as that is achieved, definitely, which is going to be in a short, definitely it will happen.
Okay, and then one reason that many people will adduce to this particular situation is the lapse available to the state government, the situation of the economy in Nigeria, and of course in the state. But then the pensioners are saying that even before the economic challenge that the state has found itself in, that some of those monies have not been remitted. They're saying the state government started paying half salaries July 2015, but that for the period between January and June, that these monies were also not remitted. What explanation?
The truth of the matter is that Governor Olanipekun is a man that lives by the law, and that he will not do anything that will be against the law. He has enjoyed so much, from keeping to the law. And I want to say with all sense of responsibility that the truth of the matter might be that all these things they are talking that happen when the economy go hurry. Do not forget, the governor has been talking about the problem of economy since 2013, and indeed the reality of it is that the brigandage in the economy started as far back as 2011. Therefore, my take is, if it ever happened at all that remittances were not made, then it must have been in the period when the economy went gaga and there was little or nothing to do about it. I want to once again appeal to our people to please be patient, be calm, and that they should be rest assured that the best will be done for them by Governor Olanipekun as soon as things are okay.
With what we have on ground now, that the state, with what we have on ground now,
yes,
yeah, the state government, they have run foul of the state contributory pension law of 2008. Going by that particular law, which and I would like to section 5B of that particular law, which is not later than 7 working days from the day the employee is paid his salary, remit an amount comprising the employee's contribution under paragraph A of the subsection, the employer's contribution to the custodian specified by the pension fund administrator of the employee to the exclusive order of such pension. Now, when we go to section 7, is
well, you're saying in essence that the state government has breached the law establishing the contributory pension.
Femi, let me say this quickly. The reality of the situation is that so much as quoting the law, so much is the reality on ground that even when you are going to have to deal with the reality on ground, do not forget that for some time salaries could not be paid. It is only when you are paying salaries that you make remittances. Indeed, as it is operative in so many states of the Federation today, you agree with me that it is only when remittances will be made. And therefore, it is not as if the government deliberately decided to spend the money elsewhere. It must have been in the crisis of, lack of funds to pay salaries, to even pay modulated salaries and all that all these things came in. Dare say that in all sense of responsibility, the government wouldn't have broken the law of the land.
All right. Well, we'd like you to stay with us for some few more moments on the line because we open the phone lines now. We hope, like the commissioner has promised, that the state government will look into these and this will get sorted as soon as possible, or talking about this issue scheme, especially for those who retired under that particular scheme, and then maybe a meeting will be arranged between the forum and, of course, the state government. Open the phone line so I would like you to keep your comments very simple, make it short, and most importantly, let's keep it very civil. We still have the Honorable Commissioner with Mr. Adelani Badirinwa, the Honorable Commissioner for Information, and then representatives of the Forum of Contributory Pensioners and the State of Osun.
You can now join the conversation by calling 0703-175-9103, 175-9177, and 0902-427-3808. You can equally make use of our social media platforms. For WhatsApp, 0703-175-9173, 0703-175-3. Tweet at us at Rave917FM, and Facebook is Rave917FM. Do remember to turn down the volume on your radio set or move away from it. And please, let's keep our comments civil. Thank you.
All right, our first call on the program. Let's see. You can also make it on social media handles also. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I'd like for you to turn down the volume of the radio set, please.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What's your name? Where are you
My
calling
name is,
from?
I'm Johnson Adebola from Osogbo.
Johnson Adegbola from Osogbo.
Well, let me first and foremost appreciate the commissioner, because he has tried his best to picture the best way he could do.
Well, I'm afraid we may not be able to continue with this conversation because the volume of the radio set is still very high. I suggest you call back, sir. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Femi.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Mr. Biola calling from Osogbo.
Mr. Akinola, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Please, my to this pensioner is just to go on their knee and pray to God to give us the government that they have their own in mind. They will just be promising them. They can't do anything for them. All I know is that charity election, they will give them something to compensate them either for us to enter another one chance bus. They should go on their knee and pray to God to give us that they have their own in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Akinola. Let's check some messages or take a call before we go through the messages now. Hello, good morning. Please, when you call, ensure that the volume of the radio set is kept very low so that we can hear you clearly, or you switch it off entirely. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from, sir?
This is Femi calling from Osogbo.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, according to the contribution pension law, whatever the government removes salary was supposed to be given to the pension, and we eat into it. What will now happen to these people's money that have been removed for a long while? Will the state government pay the interest when they are paying it back, or what will happen to them? I pity these people. They have worked for about 35 years, and at the end of the day, they are nothing to get. There's nothing for them to get. I just pray that God will make them that they can be alive to eat the fruit of their labor.
Thank you. This message on WhatsApp is from Prince Femi. He said, Operation Save Our Soul. The pensioners are seriously suffering in Osun State. We appeal to the government to quickly look into our plight and pay up our money as soon as possible, since we don't have Ivan. God bless Osun State. And Abele Kekazim from Osogbo is saying it's a pity that the government introduced such fake pension scheme. Why they are collecting their own pension without high dues? They didn't contribute their own parts to pension scheme. Why government borrowed the contribution of civil service? And engineer AMA Adekunle from Eda is saying the retirees under contribution pension scheme are advised to sue Osun State government, as there are sanctions against any employer of labor that violates this pension scheme act. And this one, what it does not name, we may not be able to take it. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Femi calling from Abumbelo.
Thank you, Mr. Kwemi.
Yeah, please, I want to direct my question to the commissioner, because Baba has said there were some data, various data, like data to the state of Osun government, and none of the letters was replied. What happened to those letters? Are they ignoring the letters, or are they not see the letters? They should just let us know. At least I know Commissioner will be aware of that. They can just tell us the time letters are kept. Thank you.
All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Andrew from Ojogo.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew.
You know, all this our government. So these people are working for their business, for their sweat, and at the end they will not get anything. It's every state. It's not only Ojogo. It's all the states. So let them consider the pensioners. Immediately, if they retire, they will not have another work than to depend on their pension. And the pension they are not giving them, that is suffering them. They write so many letters begging for their begging for their money. Which is not.
Thank you, Mr. Kwemi. Wale Yola from Ede, I thank and appreciate Mr. Lani Baderinwa for his humility. I trust him to find a solution. The pensioners should exercise patience. That's Yola from Ede. Thank you very much. Let's take this other message also. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Calling from?
Jayi from Elisha.
Mr. John.
I'm very sure you are just about 6 months old in that position. You should not try to defend what is not defended. The only is that we leave everything for God. God will judge. If we are in power today, do everybody as if they are animal, white animal. Think of what God will do within a very short time. Thank you.
Okay, well, this message is from Debo Adegboye from Oshogbo, saying it should be equally noted that these pensioners had at least 2 promotions before they retired, which might not have effect on them. Now they are not being paid 2 years after they left. It is unfair. And Prince from Ikirun is saying, in all sense of responsibility, state government should try and set our pensioners for goodness sake. Hello, good morning. That dropped also. Okay, maybe we'll get some reactions, some of the calls. Okay, hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What's the name you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Sunday from Oshogbo.
Thank you, Mr. Sunday.
Yeah, please, I just want to tell you that these pensioners is like we people in the state, we don't know what they are passing through. Because I'm a very good witness. My mom retired in 2015, and as a single mom, I know what she's really facing. My sister lose her admission twice just because we couldn't get money to finance her admission. And I know what I need that guy for too. But I'm on the same spot ever since 2015, hoping that they should pay this money. So with these people are really suffering. Do you know what they call withdrawal support? My mom do hit a withdrawal support crying. That is a cause for her to there. How are they encouraging us that we are the youth, that we should dedicate ourselves to Nigeria? Thank you and God bless me.
All right. Well, let's get to the Honorable Commissioner, get him to respond to some of those, issues raised. Femi from Oshogbo called earlier and is saying, well, what happens to the interest? If government has not paid us and when due, what happens to the interest that should accrue on such monies?
Well, the technicality, I may not be able to respond promptly, but definitely I know that the pensioners will not be shortchanged. And I know that the best will be done for them.
And then, Debo Adegboye also said that these set of pensioners were owed 2 promotions before they left service. Would that one be factored into it all?
I may not be able to say exactly what will be done about that. The head of service will be in the best position to say something about promotions and all other things. But then, like I said, and I keep saying, because Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola has been a good man, trying to ensure that there's freedom for all and life more abundant for everybody in the state of Osun, since he ascended the governorship position, no doubting the fact that he is going to ensure that the best is done for the people involved in this matter. I assure you of that.
Okay, and then one of the callers also asked, pointedly that these letters that is it that government is ignoring them, or was just trying to let it?
It is not possible for government to ignore them. it is not possible. It is not in our character to ignore anybody, not the least those who have contributed immensely to the development of the state. And I think it's just that certain things have to be done in order to be able to put in place what the response to the issues contained in the letter will be.
All right.
Excuse me. I mean, I do not even agree with what you say as regards the letter. We started the thing on 28th August, and it's now today is the 68 days of writing. We are part of the government. I work in the civil service. We know what it entails. We cannot say because of the civil servant is civil servant. You know there's disparity between the policy designer. You are a policy designer, the civil servant. But when we are implementing the policy, the time lag is too much. The time lag is too much. And you know, you are part of us. You are part of us. We belong to the same. We belong to the same group. You are cheating us. I must confess to you. You are cheating us. Say that. You know, our fault. Our fault. Those that are in the service may not do that, but we that are outside now. We are telling you the truth picture of everything.
Okay, well, let's get the commissioner to respond.
Sir, I must say that there's no way we could deliberately have not done something about your matter. Let me say the little that I know about how the letter, came about. Since even August 28th that I received your own copy. My own copy. It was just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But truth of the matter is that I am aware that the governor will have to pass it to some people like you know too well and ask for their advice and all that. And, to be able to articulate a good response that will suit the situation at hand. It is not as if it was, abandoned or not responded to deliberately. There's no that, please, I want you to believe that. There's no reason not to have responded to you as promptly as the situation will permit. But like civil service is about process. And it has to be, followed. I think it is the civil service process that is being followed in order to be able to know what exactly to do appropriately. I want to say that, if you feel so strongly about the fact that the letter was not responded to promptly, that we are sorry about it. It wasn't a deliberate affair as some people want
Mr. Commissioner.
you to believe.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Commissioner, your whole letter was dispatched on 26/9/17.
Okay, well, I think we'll just leave. The issue of the letter. The only question I asked.
Do not forget that I said when I received the letter, I getting in touch with the coordinator. I made phone calls, and I indeed, try to consult people if I can get to know. At the last time I got the phone call, the phone number with which I called him, it was who helped me to get that
unknown caller
sent it to me. It was at that point that I called him again and again before I was able to get to speak with him.
Okay, well, we thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. Well, I think we should not overflow that issue. He has explained and then also apologized. If you think there is a lacuna actually in responding, and he has promised that government will work out an amicable resolution and also invite the commissioners to a meeting and then with a view to finding a permanent solution, if possible, to this particular matter. But it is very important that government make these elders happy, and we hope that the Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Adelani Badinrewa, will see to that and make it to be a fruition. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning, so Honorable Commissioner, for information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I would like to say big thanks also to our guest right here in the studio, Mr. Adedeji Ajao Ismaila, a representative of the Forum of Contributory Pensioners in the state of Osun, representing the civil service. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Frank Talk, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Femi.
And also Comrade Benga Adeosun, representative of the teaching service from that same Forum of Contributory Pensioners in the state of Osun, on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of the team and executive producer, Femi Adefela, my name is Femi Olanipekun. Thanking you so much for listening. Asking you to have a super week. Bye-bye.